I wanted to learn about RAG. So that's Retrieval-Augmented Generation. And you hear a lot of people talk about this in building AI applications. So I also wanted to solve a different problem, and that is that I wanted to be able to query all of my personal chats with both ChatGPT and Claude. So you do have the ability to query now in simple searches in both of those applications, and it does a decent job. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to add context. And so I'm going to try and explain what I just did. So I learned a lot in a very short amount of time. So I'm probably going to miss some important details. But let me just run through. So this is the front end. This is a local Python-based Flask app. And you can see here, all right, so the first thing I did, I said, have I discussed Emmanuel Kant? I knew I had a couple years ago. So it said yes. And then I said, tell me about my discussions with Immanuel Kant. So then I'll show you. So if you see here, it chooses, and I programmed it to choose 5. And that is, it's looking at metadata that I indexed. So then now I'm doing another one. And you can see this is not, it doesn't follow conversations. So it's only one query based. And you'll see here the next thing I do. So I looked at that answer and I wanted to get more specific. So I said, how does it compare with Ethereum scripts? And I realized that I had to rephrase the question because my application is stateless. It doesn't maintain context between queries. So again, here are the sources. So it pulled 5 different conversations. I'm going to stop this video. Okay. So it shows, all right, let me take a step back. So what I did is I pulled my conversation JSON files by exporting out of both ChatGPT and Claude. And then I figured out a way to basically build an index. So the first thing you have to do is you have to use Python to chunk out these conversations. So it runs a Python script, this index file, and it chunks out the conversations. And then you send these chunks to OpenAI's embedding API. And what that means is it's going to turn those chunks into vectors. So numerical representations of the words. Then it sends it back and it puts it into an index. And I used, it's called Phase, F-A-I-S-S. And that was built by Facebook engineers, from what I understand. I don't know a lot about this. I literally just learned all this. So, but that index then stores all of your vectors. So the vector representations of these chunks of your conversations. Then when you go to this, so this personal chat history explorer is also built with Python. What we're doing when we type in the chat is we are sending out to OpenAI's embedding API to vectorize, turn those words into numbers, and send it back to our local application. It compares that vectorized text to the vector store of our previous conversations with both ChatGPT and Claude. It grabs the chunks of conversation that it thinks best matches the question, and it sends that to OpenAI's chat model. I don't know if it's 4.0 or 3.5 or what. And it generates a good answer. And that is what ends up in your chat, the answer chat. So let's see what else. I think that's good. I think that's basically it. So if you want to try this yourself and learn about what RAG is, so RAG, just very simply, it's taking other information in addition to what the model that you're about to use has been trained on. So that can be documents. In this case, it was my chat histories. And then it is, for lack of a technical term, it's smushing it together and providing a generative answer for you from that added data. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed.